What's up, y'all? Welcome back to HRT. I hope your week was swell. This week, I have a new guest. His name is Oliver. He's slightly older, so I'm excited to pick his brain and learn more about what it was like transitioning at an older age. But before we start, I wanted to let you guys know that I now have a Discord server. Let me get a round of applause, Future Max. Thank you. Uh, yeah, I have a Discord server, and I'm really excited about it. It only launched like 2 days ago, and we already have a bunch of people in it. Um, you should definitely come join. I'm hella active in there, so if you want to come say hi, you should. I go to bed like mad early, and the other night I stayed up way past my bedtime because I was having so much fun talking in it. So definitely join that. It's a great way to meet other trans people and just other people in general. And yeah, so come join that, and let's go talk to Oliver. Thanks. All right, Oliver. Let me start with asking you, where are you from?
I'm from Missouri, but I live in Washington State now. But yeah.
Slay. When did you move?
At the end of 2020, so yeah, late 2020.
Oh, wow.
Um,
How
yeah.
how was Missouri with, being trans and all that fun stuff?
I was not out at the time.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I that was actually kind of part of the coming out trans process, but yeah, I was definitely not out. And it partially was a part of because the area was not super accepting, or
Oh, wow.
it just wasn't a thing.
So you picked up
So
and said, "I'm moving so that I could be happy."
uh, basic, I mean, more or less, yes. My partner at the time, ex-wife, she got a job, and so we moved to Washington State. Um, so
Wow.
yeah, and then I followed her out here, and then ended up working at the same place. So
Oh, that's cool. How's
yeah.
Washington? Do you like it there?
Yes, love it, love it. Definitely was meant to be here. It's very beautiful. Mountains, ocean. It's
Hell yeah.
amazing. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, we were talking about how you belong in the West. I want to live in the
Yes.
West so bad, bro. So bad. The
Yeah,
East is not it. The East is not it. I won't lie.
yeah. It's amazing. Being able to like go out and hike like almost every weekend, or go paddleboarding, stuff like I never thought I would ever find myself enjoying, because in the Midwest it's disgustingly hot in the summer. So I was always like, I hate summer. I can't do it. But now here it's awesome.
That is sick. I also hate the hot weather. It's like just
Yeah.
starting to feel like fall, and I feel like I can breathe again. So,
Hmm.
but I would love to live in the West.
Pro tip on that: if you are on SSRIs, it does like mess with your temperature regulation system. I found that out after I stopped taking them,
That's
and
cool.
was like, oh, that would have been cool to know.
Yeah. Oh,
So yeah.
damn. Now, you said that you hadn't come out when you were living in Missouri. How old were you when you came out?
I was 29.
Shit, okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
Yeah. I'm about to turn 32 in December. Like, I'm not
Nice.
about to, I guess, but I'll be 32 in December. So
Happy
not too long.
almost birthday?
Yeah, almost ish. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, no, I don't know. It just kind of like clicked after listening to a Ladies and Tangents episode, funnily enough. So
Wow.
that kind of, I don't, a Pride episode that they did, like, kind of made me have that aha moment, like, oh shit,
Mhm.
that's what it be. So that kind of like started an avalanche of stuff.
An avalanche of stuff. That's all that being
Oh
trans is.
yeah.
Just an avalanche.
Yeah, it really is. It's truly kind of like Pandora's box. Like, once you start working on some stuff, like, it just is never ending, issue after issue, and just new things to deal with.
Everything just unfolds and it's just
Yeah, it
chaotic.
really does. Yeah, it does. But the beautiful thing is you can rebuild it. So
Period. Period.
yes.
You know it. You know it. You're on testosterone, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you do injections?
Yes, I do sub Q.
I got one intramuscular guy. I can't be mad anymore, but I
I
will
know.
find one. I
I
will
know he
find
said that. I listened to that episode, and as soon as he said I was like, oh, he's gonna be so happy.
one. Dude, like, and it's crazy that he's the only fucking one, and besides me, like crazy. I thought that IM was the more popular one compared to sub Q, but
That
I was fooled.
seems it. I don't know, man. I hate needles to begin with, but going into like your muscles seems just extra savage. You must
Extra
really want it, man.
Dude, I've been thinking, because all these episodes and talking to all these people who do sub Q has really got me thinking. Because I hate shot day. I've said it so many times, but it's really got me thinking recently if I should change to sub Q and if that's possible. I low-key don't even know. It should be,
I
right?
don't. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Hmm. Honestly,
Just
may have to
talk
think
to your
about that.
doctor.
Talk to your
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah. But yeah, no, I don't. I'm pretty sure my doctor. I kind of blacked out like that day, and luckily Ray went with me. So, but I'm pretty sure she was like, "Oh, you can do like either. It's not too much of a difference." And here you
Wow.
go.
That's wild.
Yeah.
My doctor was like, no, there's no such thing as putting testosterone into your stomach. That's wild. Never do that. These people on social media are fooling you and they're probably doing drugs. And I was like, oh my God, that's
He's
a
a
lot of
fucking
information.
liar.
You fucking
Yeah.
liar.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What
Yeah,
is your
that's
dose?
unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. But what's your dose?
I do 50 milligrams of testosterone a week,
Ooh,
so
that's
or
fun.
0.25 milliliters.
Nice, nice. I did learn the difference between milliliters and milligrams. I think.
Good. I actually came prepared in case you asked me because I was going to do a demonstration of how to visualize it.
Oh my God, please, please, because I was just about to say I still don't
Yeah.
understand it.
So imagine this is like your testosterone bottle, and like the water in there is just a liquid that houses the testosterone. So it like helps carry it into your body.
Uh-huh.
And then I have salt, and that's like the milligrams of the testosterone dose itself. So you're combining those, and then that's what you're injecting into yourself.
Oh my
Does
God.
that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, cool. I tried to find food coloring, but it was not successful.
Dude, you have my utmost fucking respect right now.
Thank you.
I loved the fucking demonstration. Are you kidding? We're clipping that.
Good.
That
Yeah.
was
Sometimes
amazing.
people just need visual. Yeah.
I am a visual learner. I am. I won't lie. You say things to me, it goes in one ear, out the other.
Oh yeah.
I love that visual. Thank you so much. I'll never question it
Yeah.
again. And every time I talk
Good.
about it on future episodes, I will clip what you just did and I will show it right here for everybody to see.
Good.
Now, okay, you said that you hate needles and stuff. Do you have like how do you
Yeah.
feel about shot anxiety? Do you have it or no?
I mean, yeah. I still get like kind of anxious about it, but I'm very fortunate, and my partner Ray does it for me, so I haven't ever had to stick myself yet.
Really?
I know I'm very lucky. I know that.
Oh, wow.
So
That's so
yeah,
awesome.
that's cool.
You have somebody do it for you. I'm so
Yeah,
jealous.
so I get to just like kind of like stand there and zone out and just kind of focus on breathing until it's over.
Wow.
And then she has to like tell me as soon as she takes it out so I can be like, ah.
That's
So
wow. I'm like hella
yeah.
jealous. I've had my sister do it for me once or twice because I went through a phase where I was like, I'm physically gonna kill myself if I have to do this myself. I need help.
I'm worried that's what I would be at.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool though that you have a partner to do that for you.
She doesn't mind needles. She has hella tattoos and just like got her own tattoo gun recently to practice on herself, and has piercings and stuff, so she's not shy with needles, so that helps.
See, I wish that could be me because like I can get tattoos pretty easily. I'm a little nervous going to the tattoo shop, but that's not really about the needles. That's more like I'm putting something on my skin forever. But
Hmm.
I think when I started testosterone, I was like, it's fine. I have tattoos. I won't care. And now I care.
I don't even have tattoos. Like my ears were pierced against my will when I was an infant. So that's it.
Wow. Do you ever want to like get to a place where you can do it yourself, or are you chilling with having her do it for you?
I'm fine doing it, like having her do it for me. I mean, obviously, I would like if there was extenuating circumstances, like do it myself.
Mm.
I would probably buck up and figure it out. Or luckily, I work somewhere that they could also like help me out, probably. But yeah,
Well, that's cool.
for now, I'm just kind of hoping for the best,
That's what we're
and
all
it's doing well so far. So
That's awesome, though. How long have you been on T? I didn't even ask you.
I started January 19th of this year. So
Okay, nice.
about 8 months. Yeah.
Oh wow. I feel like I've only had guests who have been on it longer than a year,
Mm,
or Jackson, who was on it and came off. I've never had somebody who's been less than a year, so that's pretty cool.
mm.
I would have honestly, I would have assumed you've been on it for like 2 years at least. That voice
That's awesome. Thank
dropped.
you.
That voice dropped fast, huh?
It really did. It came in hot. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What can I say? It's also kind of morning time ish, and I haven't like talked a whole bunch to other people, so that plays a part. But
Got
yeah,
that sexy morning voice.
yeah, you know.
Do you think your voice has been one of your favorite changes from T that you noticed?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That was like the main thing that I was looking forward to the most. Like that, and really like wanting a beard.
Mm.
Yeah, those were the two that I was just absolutely dying for.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't think I don't think I had any facial hair until like the 2 year, 3 year mark. I feel like that's one of the last things that come, and it's what everyone wants the most.
Yeah.
I rocked the pedo stash for way too fucking long. Way too long. I don't know how any girl had any interest in me because it was bad.
That just means your personality is spot on.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's all about the personality, boys. It's all that matters.
Yep, it really is.
Nice guys do not finish last. You heard it here first. So we were texting the other day about crying while being on testosterone. Can you cry?
Yes.
Do
Absolutely.
you cry?
All the time. Still, all the time.
Yeah, I can cry. It's a specialty of mine.
Very sensitive boy. Yes. And before I started testosterone, I cried constantly. No matter what the emotion was, angry cry, happy cry, sad cry, just everything.
Angry crying is the fucking worst.
Yes.
There is
oh my
nothing
God.
worse
It
than
would
that.
just angry crying and then being angry that I'm crying because I'm angry and just does not help anything. And I'm like, I can't tell you why I'm angry, but I just need you to know I am. And just tears streaming down my face, and it was not.
Bro, and like you're angry and then you start crying, and then it's the feeling
Yeah.
of embarrassment that just sends me over the edge.
Yes.
I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna let these fuckers see me cry. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too much. It was too much. But yeah, that's definitely like leveled out. I think a lot of it too might be just getting older in general and being more in touch with my emotions and stuff, and realizing I don't know, like, yeah.
He said,
A lot of
I'm
mental health stuff.
emotionally mature.
I'm getting there, trying to be. But yeah, no, I still definitely cry. It takes a little bit more, and it's not as like spontaneous, thankfully.
Right.
But yeah, it still comes out, but if you're not crying, it comes out in other ways. So
That's true. That is true. I never really thought about that. Yeah, I only cry at movies and TV shows. Real life problems don't affect me. Don't think that's a good thing.
Well, I would ask, like, what are the things that like make you cry, and like how are they making you feel in relation to like what's going on in your life? It's
Whoa.
kind of, yeah, that's what it comes down to. Yeah. I told you this would happen, man. I told you.
Am I the one being interviewed right now? Dude, okay, well, Have you ever watched any Marvel shows or movies at all?
I mean, yeah.
I watched.
Yeah, I'm a millennial. Of course I have.
I watched Avengers Endgame the other night. Sobbed my eyes out.
Mhm.
Sobbed. Every
Mm.
Spider-Man movie sobbed.
Yeah.
every
Yep.
TV show, music video, movie that has a dog in it, I can't watch it. I
Oh
can't.
yeah.
And even if the
Have you
dog is
ever seen
happy, I can't.
Have you ever seen the movie Hachi?
No, is it about a
Oh my
dog?
god. Yes, it's about a dog, and it's the saddest movie in the entire world.
You will never find me watching it. Dude, I
Okay,
can't.
good. If somebody tries to tell you to watch it, then don't. It would wreck you.
Thank you for the heads up because
Yeah, you should just read like a summary of it. But yeah,
like I can't like it's like goes for like any animal though. Every time there's like a scene where a dog just like so much just fucking whimpers, I'm like, get this off my
hmm
screen right now. Like I get actually
yeah,
angry. Like, cause like what the
hmm
fuck is the point? Like
yeah.
what is
Just
the
because it's
point?
an innocent animal. Like,
Ugh, making me
yeah,
feel things I don't want to feel.
I know.
Transphobic. Anyways.
Right? It's a hate crime because I hated it.
No, literally. Uh, okay, so we're getting better at not crying all the time. That's good.
Yes.
Is it good though? Like, do you ever feel like you need to cry but can't?
There's been a couple of times, I guess. Yeah, but I think that's honestly more, again, just me kind of sitting with why I'm blocked up.
Mm. So you sit there and you process your emotions,
Yeah, I mean, you
like a
kind of have
healthy
to.
person.
But yeah, it's either if I don't cry, it's gonna come out as me being pissed off for no reason, and
Right.
that's not good. So
And that is why cis men punch walls. I've
yes,
come to
exactly,
learn because when
exactly.
I can't cry, I get angry and then I punch
Yeah,
walls, and
yeah.
it's not healthy. So
It's frustrating not being able to process your emotions.
it is. You're so right.
I don't, yeah, that's kind of like I in the last couple of years, like I've really too much probably hyper focused on just kind of learning how the brain processes trauma and how your mental health is really affected by all these things.
Hmm.
And the more I learn about it, the more it's easier to kind of take control of like what's going on more, I guess, of like I'm feeling this, but I know like it's okay and that it's going to pass and that, I felt this way because this happened in the past, but I'm safe now, so it's okay.
If you could just be the voice in my head from now on, I'd greatly appreciate it.
you have you can do that for yourself though.
You're right.
But yes,
You're
I
right.
will absolutely do that for you. You can hit me up anytime.
Just text you to be my 24/7 therapist.
Absolutely.
That's awesome though. Do you think you've used that information with all that stuff in your transition at all? Like, has it helped you
Yeah.
in that sense? That's
Oh
cool.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just being able to cope with kind of, I guess, how society like views
Mm,
trans issues and stuff. Like
mm.
it's not a reflection of me per se, but
True.
you know,
True.
I don't. Yeah, just kind of learning how to like understand societal norms more. I guess more is
Mm.
easier to cope with it.
Don't conform. You're
Yeah,
not
don't
here to
conform.
please anybody but yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
Yes. And it's kind of like you have, I heard you have two lives, like the one you lead, doing what everybody else wants you to do, and then the one that you live when you wake up.
Hmm. That's something that I feel like I need to live by being on like social media and things like that.
Hell yeah.
You gotta remember, 'cause especially with all these fucking dumbass people in my comment section, dude. I be
Yeah, that
getting
is rough.
I be getting like comments recently that are like one words, and it's almost like worse than getting like a full like hate paragraph when someone just
Hmm.
comments the word like sad. I'm like, it kind of hurts more. I'm like, damn, you didn't even put effort into it.
God.
Like, this is
Yeah.
sad. And I'm like, you're stressing me out, please.
Like, are you sad or like who's sad? Why are you sad? Why are you trying to make me sad?
That's what I should have said. Like, oh, why are you sad? Are you here because you need
Yeah,
comfort?
like what's going on, bro?
You go be their therapist. They could use a lot of
I,
help.
I'm good on that, man. I need to contact my therapist still. I've been ghosting her. Instead, I'm just on TikTok and on YouTube watching Patrick Tian videos. Are you kidding me?
He said, I'm good on that, homie. I'm good.
I can only do so much. I'm only one man.
Yeah, honestly, they need too much help.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you though, do you have top surgery? And if not, do you want top surgery?
I do not, and I would like to eventually get it. It's on the list, but
Are you like working towards that right now, or are you focusing on other things in your transition first?
um, I'm kind of just trying to exist right now. I'm not really like it's something that's on my mind, and I would like to get to it like within the next probably 5 years ish, I would say, but beyond that, I haven't.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of just riding out testosterone still for a little bit.
That's cool. Taking it step by step, a little slowly. I
Yeah.
like that. I think I rushed, not too fast. I don't want to say I rushed too fast in my transition, but I was young and felt like I needed to get it all done in a certain amount of time. And not that I would change that, but it definitely would have been a little bit smarter to go a little slowly and maybe enjoy the process a little bit more.
Mm.
So I think that's cool. um,
Hmm.
do you have like, oh, I wanted to ask you if, since you're moving slowly, does that mean that doesn't give you as much dysphoria as you thought it would? Like, is that your main source of
Um,
dysphoria, or no?
yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm lucky that I get to work from home a majority of the time, so I don't go out too often. And then like when I do, it's normally just like Ray and I. So
Hmm,
it
that's cool.
I'm not too focused on it. I guess I try just to not think about it and distract myself with the things that I can control at
There
the
you go.
moment more. I absolutely have horrible bad days where it's all I can think about. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but it's just one day at a time, I guess.
And how old did you say you were?
Right now, I'm 31.
It's definitely different and interesting hearing from somebody who's slightly older talk about how they're coping with dysphoria and all the struggles that come with being trans, because you got a good head on your shoulders. And I feel like that's
Thank you.
probably the difference,
Yeah,
transitioning at an older age. Like I didn't have the emotional maturity to think like that when I was 18 about to get top surgery. I was like, no, I need it now.
I don't know. I wouldn't. Age probably does play a little bit of it, but I've definitely met people my age and older that are not um, at the same maturity emotionally. I guess
Mhm.
I would say so. It just kind of depends on everybody's personal journey
True, true.
because I don't. I would. Yeah, there's definitely people in the boomer era that try and catch them being emotionally mature, and
No, yeah, that's true.
that's a struggle.
That whole generation doesn't know what emotionally mature means at all.
Emotions, what?
Yeah, they don't even know they have their own emotions, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
When did you say you came out as trans again?
When I was 29, yeah, is
29.
when I started. Well, yeah. I came out. I didn't really come out. I guess I just like put stuff on social media and, and was like, "It's happening!" Like, here's a picture I cut off my hair. Hashtag trans, and then everybody was like, "What?"
That's like
uh,
it
yeah,
doesn't have to be a big thing though. Like, people
yeah,
think that coming out has to be this big announcement. It like doesn't. Like, you could just
yeah,
be like, "Hey, I'm a dude." Just so you know.
yeah. And I just want to be like, if you think about it, like it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, guys? Like, come on.
Yep. Yep. Uh, did you How long, like, did you know you were trans before you came out?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I knew like as a very very young child, like my family would always joke around with me about how I would tell them I was a boy and like want to get my hair cut like Forrest Gump in particular. Um,
That's awesome.
so I was like, looking back now, I'm like, where was
Yeah.
the disconnect there? But just little things like that, and
Like, why didn't nobody tell
yeah,
me?
yeah. Why was this not discussed? Yeah,
FedEx.
no. And then I remember like going and hanging out with my grandma at like a senior center, like before like starting school even, and
Mhm.
I would always like wear a hat like super low, so nobody could like really see like my face.
Mhm.
And all the old people would like be like, "Thank you, sir," as I would hold the doors open for them, and I would just, yeah, fuck yeah, I am a boy. Yeah, it was the greatest.
I'm just picturing this
Yes.
little kid being like, "Oh."
Yes, it was awesome. Um, and then yeah, like it's when I started school, like that's when stuff started getting like separated, and
Right.
I was like, what, like, why am I, why? Like I like girls. This is fine, I guess. Like I'm cool with that, but like this
Right.
is not. I don't feel like I fit in here. But not really having the language for that, and then
Mhm.
um, I don't know, like my family just kind of then enforcing like the stereotypical roles on you know from there it just kind of
Right.
snowballed.
Do you think that you like, when older people would refer to you as sir and whatnot, and that was affirming, like, and you liked it? Do you think that you actually like were you that self aware at a young age where you were like, yes, I want to be a boy. I am a boy. Should have been born a boy, or like, were you just like, I like that and I don't know why, kind of thing?
Like it I don't know if it's like looking back now with like 2020 hindsight, but from my memory it really felt like, yes, like that's, they see me, like I
Right.
felt seen for the first time.
Right.
um and yeah, even after like puberty and having to go through that hellscape of like
Mm-hmm.
cis female puberty,
Right.
um yeah, that like I would still like all the time like wish like if, oh, if I could just wake up as a boy.
Mm-hmm.
um it would be awesome, and still not putting two and two together for so long. For so
Yeah.
long, Cody. It was so dumb.
No, like, for real.
Nobody
Like, for real.
fucking told me that there was an option.
Dude, I know. What is that about?
It was, yeah. I grew up in the like a smaller town in Missouri, so being gay was a big deal for me to be a lesbian when I came out as a lesbian in high school. So being trans was like
Oh yeah.
not in my world at all.
Yeah, completely foreign. I get that.
Yeah.
I I had this similar kind of experiences where, like, I don't know, I would go like skiing with my dad or something, and I would I would put on all like the big puffy clothing that you got to wear for skiing because you're in the snow, obviously. And I'd wear like the face masks and stuff that like cover every inch of my face except for my eyes. I would make sure my hair was like tucked into my helmet and shit. And like people on the, I would like ski like underneath of the chairlift, and people would be like, hell yeah, little dude. Like, oh yeah. And I'd be like, yes, that was awesome. Why did I like that so much? But I
Hell yeah.
never like, I wasn't that self-aware. I'd never like went the extra step of being like, okay, why did I like that though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Like, I
get
don't know.
that.
It felt like, yeah, I felt like I was self aware, but then it was just like
Hmm.
kind of unfortunately beaten out of me. I mean, not literally beaten out of me, unfortunately, but yeah, just kind of pushed back.
Right. Now, can I ask if you have a supportive family?
I do not. I stopped speaking to my dad like right after I graduated high school, so that had already been like a part of my life for a while.
Hmm.
Um, and then my mother, I had recently cut out like probably right after. I came out as trans. And
Jeez.
being trans was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess. Which I don't know. It might have been also like the foundation, you could say, but we just had like a lot of other issues going on, um,
I get that.
kind of with yeah, personal relationship stuff. So yeah, it just wasn't on great grounds to begin with, and so I don't know. As soon as I like put stuff out on social media, I kind of braced myself because I knew like somebody was going to contact me with some nonsense.
Right. They always do.
And it happened. Of course it
Yep.
did.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, and it was like, why wouldn't you tell anybody about this? Like, why wouldn't you talk to us about it? Like, well, what kind of surgeries are you getting? And I was like, all right, let me lay it out for you. Had I felt comfortable telling you any of this,
Mm-hmm.
you would have known.
Right.
You honestly would have known. Like me telling you now, this is me telling you. Had I been, had it been like an option for us to have this discussion sooner, we would have had it.
Exactly.
So yeah. And then second of all, don't ask me those questions. That's not your business.
There you go. I was just about to say that. Because, like, family
Yeah.
or not, like, I'll share what I want to share with you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And, like, if you, that's what I always hate. And it goes even past, coming out as trans, like everyday life. Like, if you find out something about me that I didn't tell you, I didn't tell you for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be mad at me. It's your own fault. Like, if you
Yeah.
don't make me feel comfortable, it's not my job to let you know my personal business. I thought we were on the same
Yeah.
page. No, I get that. Is it like a religious thing that they don't support you, or is it more like a personal? They don't. They're just ignorant to it.
wow. Sorry. They're just ignorant. And I say that with as much compassion as I can muster.
Right.
They're just ignorant.
Yep.
Um, they're just ignorant white people that live in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, religion kind of plays a part ish into it, insofar as they'll use it as they see fit. Kind of,
As a weapon.
yeah, yeah. This I had someone had the audacity to tell me not to cherry pick things from the Bible, and I was like, what? I'm sorry, what?
Oh God.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just and not most sometimes outright racism and like just transphobic, I guess. Yeah, but
Mm.
so many microaggressions that I didn't recognize until getting away and
Mm-hmm.
being and um I guess learning like some of the things that they were doing like were manipulation tactics or um like calling certain people slang terms that I was like just used to hearing. And then just the other day, Ray brought one up. She was like, "What? I've never heard that." And I said, "I heard that my entire life. Are you serious?"
Mm-hmm.
So, and just like, yeah, just casually calling people fags.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
My dad
So
did
I
that
was just
too.
like, "Oh wow,
Yeah.
yep, yep,
And then like even like that's that generation though, I feel like too. It's like, well, that's something that, we used to say and it didn't mean that when I was younger. It wasn't that offensive when I was younger, so it's fine. And it's like, well, it's offensive now, okay?
yeah." I'm telling you, it's offensive now. Like, why does that? Yeah, that the amount of times that I heard like that's just how they show their love or that's just who they are, their family. I miss me with that bullshit. I don't give a fuck. Like they don't give a shit how I feel, so why should I give a shit how they feel?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. So do you think you're the type of person that like, I mean, clearly since you don't talk to your parents anymore, but like, do you think it's important to have that while you're transitioning? Because like in my episode with Luke, the main topic was like how important is like a supportive family when you're transitioning. Do you think you need that or no?
I think you need a family, uh, and I think the word family can be used however you want to apply it.
Period.
I think everybody needs a support system, regardless if you're trans, cis, no matter what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think a lot of the issues that trans people go through are also just human issues in general.
True.
Um, so
True.
yeah, I think everybody needs support.
I think that on my last episode, let me look right now. Not last episode, in my episode with Luke, I put a poll up on Spotify that says, I'll read it right now. It says, "Is the support of family when transitioning is the support of family when transitioning the most important thing?" Question mark. And 40% said no, I don't need one, and 60% said yes, family is everything. So I found that interesting. I feel like a lot of people do put family over anything, over everything, and will kind of
Yeah.
stay in contact with loved ones who don't support them. And I don't, and there's no shame in that. I completely get it if
Mm,
family is everything to you and like you're willing to go through that just to keep your family, but I sure as hell could not.
mm.
Yeah,
No. Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
it is.
What like your blood family? I don't know. I might be a little biased, but if they're not supporting, if you don't feel, I guess the easiest way to break it down is if you feel unpleasant around somebody, or if you feel pleasant around somebody. Like it's pleasant or unpleasant feelings. Like if I feel unpleasant around this person, I don't want to be around them. Period.
Right.
So
Right. My thing is always like blood really doesn't mean anything to me if it doesn't also
no,
come with love and support.
yeah,
Like, because that then what's the point of being a family? Like, what's the point of calling
yeah.
you my family if you don't love me? What the fuck? Like,
Like family is supposed to love you unconditionally,
Mhm.
and unconditionally loving somebody means still loving them even if they're not doing what you want them to do, even
Mhm.
if they don't love you back.
Mhm.
That's what unconditional love is, and that's not what I experienced, unfortunately.
Right. And I think that you said that there was a lot of microaggression from the people you're surrounded by, and I think that's also kind of a huge topic, especially for people who are trans or come out as trans, because I don't know that there's a lot of fucking microaggression that comes with all that stuff because it's so easy
Mm,
to overlook and be like, oh, they don't mean it like that, or kind of like the F slur thing, like, oh, it was something that was okay in my time, so it's okay in this one, and then it's just written off, and then you're manipulated, and it's like, okay, what? And then you
yeah,
feel
I'm so
invalid.
sorry if I shouldn't have said the F word. By the way,
Oh no,
I'm
please,
sorry.
it's fine, it's fine.
Okay.
It don't matter. You can say any words.
Okay.
I'll just bleep them if they're that bad. But yeah,
Yeah.
I get that, and the people who manipulate like that aren't even aware that they're manipulating. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to place blame in that sense too.
Yeah. And part of learning about all the manipulation tactics, and learning like kind of the language surrounding it, is being able to like point it out in other people, obviously, but also being able to recognize it when I'm doing those things, because I know I also have said things that I'm not proud of, and
Hmm.
things that were said with not the intent that I was speaking of. So
Right.
it's coming to terms with that I also do these things and trying to not do those at the
Hmm.
same time.
And like, I bet you that you're very good at that now that you've taken yourself away from people who were like that towards you, and it's easier to see the line between what's manipulating or what's gaslighting or what's bad or what's good. I feel like because I don't know, we all turn into our parents, as people say, where we're like, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
around your parents, I feel like you can see as you grow up what was wrong and what
Yeah.
wasn't. But
Yeah,
yeah.
you're just, I mean, it's just you're repeating patterns over and over again. And
Hmm.
until you like kind of wake up and see the patterns for what they are, like you can't really do anything about it.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I stopped when I came out as trans to my dad. I stopped talking to him for a while, because I was like, well, I'm not gonna stay if you're gonna treat me like shit. The fuck? Why would I want to be here? And I think
Hmm.
that the longer I went successfully like being myself and being happy with myself, and he wasn't a part of that, he saw he wasn't a part of that, he then became the one who was outcasted. And you know, because everyone else in my life was calling me Cody and using he and pronouns, he was the one that was out of
Hmm.
place. You know what I mean? He felt left out.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't know what they got till it's gone. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that you guys worked it out. That's really cool.
Should you?
Yeah, my dad, I don't even know if my dad, he probably does, I guess. He probably sees me on social media, so he probably knows I transition.
Oh, dude, don't even like. My dad couldn't. He needs to call me with every question he has about his phone, so I don't think he'll ever see any of this, which I'm really thankful for. But like, God forbid, Dad, I love you, but you know, you could
Yeah.
have been better. Is all I'm trying to say. But yeah, thank God that some people in my family don't know how to use a computer or YouTube. Like, thank God. um,
That's the little things.
yeah, I take the little wins.
Yeah.
But how do you, for anybody listening who also struggles with an unsupportive family or not talking to their family because of, unsupportive reasons, do you have ways that you've coped with the unsupportiveness in your life?
Therapy. Therapy, first and foremost. If you can afford it, have access to it, obviously it's a privilege. Seek it out
Yeah,
if you can, in any way, in any form. Um, trying to make connections in other places. Um,
true.
that's the epitome of human existence, is connecting with other people. Everybody wants to feel seen and heard, so as
True.
long as you have somebody that you can talk to, like, that makes all the difference. Um,
Did you have anybody in your life that was trans, or do you now?
no. uh, Now ish. I some There's some people at work that are trans, I think, question mark, or like
Hmm.
not gender non-conforming.
Hmm.
So in proximity, yeah, but not really like friends, which I absolutely would love to make more friends. So
Well, I just created a Discord server. Anybody can join. Up, you have to be 18 and up, I think, but anybody can join. I just made it like 2 days ago. You should definitely join, bro. We have a good time in there, and
okay,
it's just a bunch of trans people. And if you're
hell yeah,
cis too, come join. Everybody is welcome. It's a lot of fun. I made it.
hell yeah.
I made it like 2 days ago, and I stayed up like almost all night just talking to people and like meeting new people. It's actually really fun.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, if you need more trans people
Yeah.
in your life, that's where you can go. Also, the Trace app too from last episode. I actually really have been enjoying the Trace app.
Oh
It's
yeah, I did download that and checked it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's really cool. Because again, I also didn't have trans people in my life prior to this podcast, and now like I've met so many cool people through this podcast and like just on social media in general, and I didn't realize how important it is to have other
Mm,
trans people in your life. I did not realize it, and now I am benefiting.
yes, yes.
How you said you came out when you were 29, right?
29. 29? Yes.
29. I'm glad you got that. I wanted to say that so many times
Yes.
before.
Oh my god, yes. I am nothing but pop culture references, so.
Period.
Yes.
29.
Youths!
I love it. Um, so, all that time you've gone through your transition without any other trans people in your life.
Yeah.
Did you look to the internet at all?
Elliot Page. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Daddy Elliot. That was about it. And even when he came out, oh my god, even when he came out, I was like, good for you, bro. That's cool. Not for me though. I can't do it. That's not an option.
Shit, couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. Oh, that's nice, but I wish I could have some.
That's not funny. You know, you're the first person to actually bring up Elliot Page. I've been waiting for somebody to bring up Elliot
What?
Page. Yeah,
Oh my god.
I'm in the middle of reading his book. Did you read it or no?
Oh my, yes. No. I have it. Started it.
Yeah.
I think I got like a few handful of pages in, and then he uh no trigger warning. I had no idea what's happened in this man's life other than Juno, and he transitioned.
Me too.
Um and he like just with no trigger warning went into some sexual assault stuff, and I said, "What?
I know. I was
Who
like,
hurt you?
whoa, whoa, whoa! What did I get myself into when I
Give
started
me
reading
names,
it?
baby boy. Let's go."
For real.
Like, what?
Oh,
Yeah, it was really jarring, and I at the like at the time I was kind of like low, so I think I was like, I
yeah.
need to come back to this at another time. So I haven't finished it,
He also
but I was like, oh my
uses,
god.
yeah, for anyone who might want to read Elliot Page's memoir. It's a memoir, right? I think it is.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, it's really good. He talks a lot about, you know, I'm in the middle of it. I haven't finished it yet, but he talks a lot like from before his transition. And I'm kind of waiting for him to get into more about being trans. I'm still in like the before stages of his life, I think. But I've noticed he definitely like uses a lot of words, triggering words that a lot of trans guys don't want to use when referring to themselves. So that is just a trigger warning if anyone wants to read that book. But it is a really cool book. So there's some things that he says in there where I'm like, okay, I relate.
Hmm.
I relate, King.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really cool. I've been waiting for somebody to bring him up so I could talk about that book.
Yes. Oh my god. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I should have like looked more into his Wikipedia page or some shit. I don't know. I just had no idea.
Hmm.
But now, like looking back, I'm like, well, of course, because Hollywood is terrible and toxic, and everybody is horrible.
Right, and
But
he shares all these stories, these like sexual assault stories and shit, and I'm like,
just
drop the name,
casually,
but just drop the name. Like, you're gonna give me this juicy story about all these things that people who are mean
yeah,
to you in the industry, but you're not gonna tell me who. Come
call him
on,
out, call
come
him
on.
out.
Really, like, why are we protecting fucking pedophiles? Why are we doing that?
Yeah,
I'll never,
yeah.
never get that.
The internet's finally mad at Drew Barrymore. Like, I didn't ever think that would happen,
That's
and I'm so
facts.
upset.
That's facts.
So anything is open. Everything's on the table now. Lay it all out.
That ass. Anyone, you could come for anyone nowadays, and it's fair.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's safe.
Dude, cancel culture is a whole other fucking story, bro. It's wild. It'd be wild. I can't ever get on the same page as it. I'm like, is cancel culture toxic or is it deserving? I never know. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah.
I'm rambling now, obviously.
No, I love it. Well, first of all, I have ADHD, so I'm so sorry. But anytime I think about cancel culture, I automatically hear Philomena Kunk from Kunk Does the World or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, you could say that Jesus was the first person affected by cancel culture.
Why is that like really true?
Oh my god. I love
Jesus is
it.
canceled. You've heard it here first. Canceling
Oh my
Jesus.
god. Wait,
Unfollow.
don't do that on this episode. Oh shit. Okay.
If Jesus had like an Instagram or TikTok or YouTube channel, how much hate do you think he would get? How many subscribers would he have? And how much hate would he get? That's what I want to know. I want to know the ratio. Like,
I can't. I'm. Oh, I started thinking about what Jesus would look on Instagram, and I just think of Fabio.
what would his feed look like? Oh, that's so funny. You're like, with my dad.
Hashtag we're everywhere.
We're
Also
everywhere.
inside you.
That was. That one got me. Hashtag we're everywhere. Oh. I might have laughed too hard at that, but that got me. Like, I won't lie. Oh, okay. Bringing it back. Fucking Jesus, man, I could talk about that all day. Not that I love him on Instagram and what his feed would look
Yeah.
like. All right, so the topic that I wanted to talk about the most today is transitioning as an adult, since you didn't start transitioning until you were 29. But I want to ask, do you think there's a big difference between transitioning at an older age compared to a younger age? Or no?
I mean, yeah. Yeah. You get to go through life being who you want to be, Cody. Yes.
Please, because I asked the dumbest fucking questions. And
No, sorry.
No, you're good. And not one person has like called me out on it until right now, and I'm like low-key really happy about it.
I'm so I don't mean to call you out. It's just
Bro,
would I'd rather grown up hating myself or loving myself?
I mean, when you look at it that way, yeah, I get it.
Oh my god.
No, because like for real, I be pulling these questions out of my ass sometimes. So like, call me out. I don't care.
I mean, besides that, yeah, just being able to move through the world like how you want to be seen, and being able to build up your confidence from a younger age with that perspective, instead of like having to fight everybody else's perception your whole for longer.
Right, but I think what I what I more meant by that, I guess, is like, I guess, right, you would want to transition at a young age because you want to go through life being true to who you are, but like, I guess, is it easier coming out? I guess it would be easier coming out younger, but like, do you feel more emotionally mature now, and like, do you think you would have changed that aspect of it?
I think younger,
Yeah.
like it's a lot to deal with internally.
Mm-hmm.
So younger, your brain is still developing. So that in itself is a whole can of worms.
Which
You're
we
still
will get to.
developing yeah, your own sense of self, and like trying to manage your own emotions. You're also like dealing with your parents or whoever you're living with at the time, your caregivers.
Right.
And if you don't feel safe around them, like it's obviously going to deeply affect how you handle your own emotions and how often you check in on yourself. So
Yep.
it's just, I don't know, it's really hard to say. It really is an individual thing, but overall, like ideally, I think it would be better if people were allowed to explore that side of themselves more and more openly and honestly,
True.
without the societal like stigma of it.
Do you think you would have made like the same choices if you transitioned at, say, 21? Like, would you
For
have
sure.
like started testosterone and then wanted to wait a little bit to get top surgery because you wanted to like kind of take it slow? Do you think you would have been more like me and like just fucking went as fast as you can?
Yeah, I think I was talking to Ray about this last night. Like I don't know. Like I think I definitely would have been interested in like the testosterone blockers.
Mm.
At the very least, probably definitely testosterone, or should I say testosterone blockers, like the hormone blockers?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. And then probably definitely still testosterone. And yeah, probably eventually still top surgery. I don't know how quickly, but I mean, again, it's really hard to imagine, because like even if those were like things that were discussed around me, the trans identity itself was not accepted in my house.
Right.
It's so
Yeah.
it would have been a moot point anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Had I had a supportive family, if this, if that, if this,
Right.
ideally I would have loved to have transitioned earlier. I would have loved to have been born a cis guy also, but
But can't get
here
we
we
wrong.
are. Yeah, I just have to focus on the things that I can control, and right
Right.
now I'm doing those things.
Right. Because I guess I don't know. I guess if I thought about it in a sense of now, because I transitioned at 18 or started transitioning at 18, and if I think to myself, okay, what if I didn't and I started transitioning at 30 or 40, like would I have moved slower through my transition? Would I have made different choices? Because like actually I was talking about this with my mom this morning. um I was talking about getting a hysterectomy because I still haven't gotten a hysterectomy yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I kind of wish that before I started testosterone, I went out of my way to make sure that I could have kids one day, the whole freezing
Mm-hmm.
situation. And I was like, I kind of wish I did that. And my mom was like, I told you to do it. You should have listened to me. And I was like, I was young and all I wanted to do was just start testosterone. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret anything about my transition, but that I am kind of like, damn, like I should have done that before I started because now I have to, come off testosterone if I want to do that and go through all the motions, which would be really
Mm-hmm.
hard for me. So that's something that I think, if I transitioned at an older age, I think I would have been able to kind of think it through more and like understand my morals more. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not something I can't go back on though. Like I can still control that.
Right.
I can still do
Oh
it
yeah,
now.
definitely.
And that's not to say that kids should not be able to transition because
Right.
I don't think that. But I do
Right.
think there has to be somewhat of a difference of like the being self-aware at a young age and shit like that.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. The kids part is also an interesting part of it too, I guess, because like I remember being even your age and wanting kids still,
Hmm. Yeah.
being like, well, maybe. Definitely don't want any now, at least biologically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Because yeah,
because
I
of your
remember.
transition, do you think?
No, no. I worked in a daycare for 3 years
Got
in
you.
college, so I'm good on
Understood.
that. I got my baby fix in. I'm good. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
good.
cool with being like a uncle figure or something, but
That's good. I feel like cuz that's a big struggle I think for trans guys, at least me, cuz I don't know. I feel like I don't struggle too hard in my transition anymore. Dysphoria wise, don't get me wrong, I have my bad days, but the one thing that like makes me want to kill myself is the thought of not being able to have kids one day or biologically or whatnot. But
mhm.
it's
Is it?
it's good.
Sorry, can I ask, like, is it like that you can't make one the same way like that a man can, or is it like
Definitely
the
plays a part.
process of having to come off of
Both,
testosterone?
both. I think it used to be the sense of like I couldn't do it the same way a cis man could. That definitely was
Mm-hmm.
something that ruined me as a person. But then, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
I realized what I could control and I got over that. And it doesn't bother me as much anymore, especially because now I don't spend most of my days wishing I was cis anymore, which is something new in my transition. But
Good for you.
thank you. But now I would say it's the fact that I would have to come off of testosterone and do the whole fucking thing
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to do and go through all that for it to maybe work. That's where
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that you kind of don't have to worry about that because it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would much rather just like not want kids.
Yeah. I'm okay. We got we just got like a family pass to this indoor trampoline park. So we go there and like stress bounce and like get all of our anxiety and stuff out, and then there's inevitably some like couple like toddlers will end up following us around and like jumping around with us, so it's fine. I get to like hang out with a kid in
Yeah.
like a safe, non-creepy way,
Right.
just on the trampoline. It's very adorable.
That's fun. See, I feel like because I have a nephew, he's about a year and 6 months now, and I watch my sister and my brother-in-law, go through all the motions of it and deal with having a little toddler now. And I'm like, oh my god, I would blow my brains out. I don't know how you guys do this. I babysit him for like one day at a time, and I'm like, my head is spinning, and I'm like.
Hmm.
So I don't even know
Yep.
how I'm gonna actually be able to do all that, but I could see that it's like worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's yeah. I do like the kid when I was at the daycare. Like the kids that I like kind of bonded with more. Like, oh man, I still love them so much, and I hope they're probably like, oh my god, like probably 10 years old now at this point, or like around that age.
Mhm.
Love them. Hope they're doing well. But yeah, don't want my own kids. That's fine. And especially since learning more, like again about trauma and stuff, like it the amount of ways that you can traumatize a child within the first 2 months of their life
Oh.
that affects them for the rest of their life. It's disgusting, and I
Oh,
hate it.
oh, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how I'm gonna be when I have my own kids one day. Because even with my nephew, like I'm so aware of everything that I do all the time around him, and I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't want to, I don't want to give this kid trauma. Like, oh my god, and that's why I think
Hmm.
gentle parenting is a thing now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's the important part. Like there, everything is trauma, and trauma is subjective,
Right,
but it's more about how you find like rebuild after, I guess,
right,
and just kind
right.
of come back together after.
That's true. You make a valid point, my friend. Now, what I wanted to touch upon a little bit too was I talked about it a little bit in my last episode with Aiden and Taylor and Jackson. Uh, but there was a part in that episode where I was asking Aiden, I was like, 50-year-old trans people? And he was like, yeah, yeah, of course. Like they exist, like, duh. And
Mhm.
I was like, you're so right. Like, my bad. But like, like, and I sat with that for a minute, and I actually put a video on my Patreon, and I let some people respond. I wanted their input on it too, of like, it's not that I don't know that older trans people exist. I know that, but I question why I forget sometimes, or I'm always like surprised when I hear about a 50-year-old trans guy because
Mhm.
Aiden was just like, well, they're just not where you are. They're not hanging out at the same bars that you are. Like, why would you see them? I'm like, yeah, that's true, but I don't see regular, not regular. I don't see 20-year-old trans guys in my area though. I mean, obviously I wouldn't
Mhm.
know, but like, come on, I would know. Like, we all have a radar.
You know a little bit,
We have a
yeah.
radar. Like, I would know. And like,
Yeah.
sure, I've seen like a few my age, but like even that I haven't. Like, it's more social media that I'm talking about, and I think I
Mhm.
failed to get that across in my last episode. But it's I don't know. It's the fact that I think that older trans people aren't on social media as much. And I don't think it has
Yeah.
anything to do with me forgetting that trans people exist, older trans people exist. It's the fact that they're just not on social media. And the ones that are on social media is like Buck Angel. I'm not going to look
Yeah.
up to fucking Buck Angel. Like, you know what I mean?
So I had no idea of I had like just heard about Buck Angel not that long before you did that episode. And then because I was just talking to Ray about it, I think like literally the day before I listened to that, and I listened to the episode and I said, "What? No. God damn it."
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't talked about Buck in a while because I feel like I milked the shit out of Buck and all of his weird things,
Terrible.
terrible things that he
Yeah.
says. But he's come out with more content. So has Blair, who I also talked about a little bit too, that I'm going to talk about
Mm.
soon. But I wanted to read because I put this on my Patreon. I wanted to read some of their responses and how they felt about it. I think I got two responses
Mm.
from Jackson and Max, who I love dearly. They're both in the Discord server. So come talk to us in the Discord server. But Jackson said, I definitely understand and agree with what you were saying, especially towards the end where you said that older trans men just want to flow through the wind, right? Because I was saying that I think that older trans guys go back to that, like, I just want to flow through the world and I don't want anybody to know I'm trans. So, like, they don't necessarily, they're not on social media trying to help the youth. You know what I mean? And so, and then he goes on to say, I guess, that being trans back then wasn't heard of, so it makes sense. I mean, there was drag queens, but being a trans man was very quiet and hush hush. I think it also has to do with our generation being so open with who they are and what they are. We are the voices that everyone hears and sees, so you're definitely not wrong for feeling that way. For feeling that way you feel about older trans men, because I feel the exact same way. And then Max said what he said. I definitely think it would make for an interesting topic. I think it would be great to hear from more older trans guys. That said, though, I think they started their transitions in a very different time when it was, as Jackson said, more hush hush. Though there obviously are so many hateful people right now and anti-trans laws being put into place, things are still more accepted now than it was then. So I'm not sure if I'd view it as their responsibility to post on social media per se, but I think it would be so cool to hear from more older trans men. Like you said, it's kind of hard to see any representation of what it may look like as a trans man at 60, but maybe we're just looking at in the wrong places. And I think what he just said is hella true. Because if I had a 60-year-old trans guy to look up to on Instagram or TikTok, I think I would feel a lot better about my future. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I weirdly I'm in like a couple of like Facebook like groups, like FTM groups, and weirdly enough, I did just like comment on this one guy's status because he like posted a picture and like did his about me,
Mm.
and this guy was like the American Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was like, and I said, "My God, you are a beast," and he was like 60, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, see, like a lot of them, I feel like are the fitness,
Yeah.
very, very, very cis passing, very stealth, and that's why I'm always like, wow, 50-year-old trans people, 50-year-old, 60 year
Mm-hmm.
old trans man, like, because where are they? Like, they're not showing themselves, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that they have to. I'm just saying that, like,
Yeah.
they exist, but where are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I mean, yeah, it's probably if they did like transition in a time where it was hush hush, they're probably stealth and still stealth
Right.
maybe to this day and
Mm-hmm.
don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
out themselves for whatever reason or
Right.
yeah, I don't know. Like older people I don't think are on social media as much anyway as younger people, so
Right.
that of course plays a part.
Yeah, they won't really know how to work it. I guess that does play a
Yeah.
part.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And then I guess most of the stuff that I see it is a lot of younger people, but it's also just people just wanting to reach out and like be seen and be heard. So I think
Right.
everybody's they're just searching for that, and I think that's just a common young person thing to do.
Right.
So it just so happens that like they're this subset of people.
That's true. I would love to have an old trans guy in here. Like, I'm talking like 55, 60,
Oldest, yeah,
like just old as shit. if you're a trans guy above the age of 50, hit me up, bro. Hit
oh
me
yeah.
up.
I'm in the group that's like 30 plus, but I'll have to see if there's any more. Do you go on Reddit at all?
Dude, Reddit and I have a weird relationship. I always
Yeah,
find
me too.
myself like, I have the app, first of all, but I never use it. I always Google it and then I just click on the Reddit threads. You know
Oh
what I
yeah, of
mean?
course, of
That's how I
course.
use Reddit. I don't think I
That's how
understand
you're
Reddit.
supposed to do
Yeah.
it.
How do you like look things up on Reddit? I don't get it. I literally don't get it.
Well, the search, well, they got rid of Apollo and stopped letting third party apps do their thing for it. So that's
Mm.
my first beef with them. But the app itself is trash and you can never search anything. So yeah, I always go like I'll Google my question and then add Reddit to the end of it and then open up the thread from there.
Honestly, I think that's how like everybody does it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's lots of like trans groups, like trans female, also trans man, of like age stuff. Yeah, over 30, over 50.
I feel like that's the thing. They stay in their little Facebook groups and stuff. You don't see them on like you don't see them having like a big platform on like TikTok or
Yeah.
Instagram really. And that's fine. Like because it goes into the, you know, like not every trans person has to be out. It can be stealth and that's fine. I just think that
Mhm.
younger trans guys and I'm sure trans women too, like I think they could I guess I'm still on the younger side, so like we could benefit so much from seeing an older trans person living their life and like doing it and like being successful.
Mhm.
Because what the fuck do we have? Buck Angel? Like, uh,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
is
but I
such
mean,
bad representation. You know what I mean?
it is. Yeah. He's bad, bad buck. Um
Bad book.
yeah, I'm sure I don't know, with more millennials kind of doing more inner work, I'm sure we'll see more some older people like my age
True.
and older hopefully like kind of
Hmm.
come into themselves and realize some things. But also like don't forget that like having all the young people on also helps the older people because like I that's what I did is I went to TikTok and seeing all these young people like sharing
True.
their experiences and stuff and it made it normalized it for me and helped me like
Right.
come to terms with stuff, kind of figure out where to go from here, like what to expect,
That's true. See, I think I
all that
still
stuff.
am sometimes in the mindset of like older people have more authority and like older people
No,
should tell
they
me what to do.
absolutely do not.
I think like I must have been traumatized as a kid in that sense because like
Yes, you
yeah. Cause
were. You
like
were.
even like in the last episode with Aiden and even a little bit with you, like I was a little nervous to talk to Aiden because he has a bigger platform and whatnot. But like I think most of my nervousness came from the fact that he was older. And like even sitting
Hmm.
there, he was like teaching me things and I was like, wow, like I'm learning a lot.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Just
I
taking
again.
out. Yeah.
And even from you, I'm like, aye, like and I think I just have a sense of like older people know more, where I guess that's not exactly true. Because you're right, like older trans people can learn from younger trans people on the internet. I didn't really think about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. They be rocking on social media too, just quietly.
True, true.
Yeah.
I would like
Um,
to see more of it though. I won't lie.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's hard though, probably too, because if you're older, I'm sure you've had more time of people trying to suppress who you are, like trying to like fight whatever demons anybody's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I know I wanted, sometimes still do, like want to be more active on social media and kind of share
Mm-hmm.
my stories and stuff, but then I always have like the fear of like I don't like the hate comments and stuff. Like I'm very sensitive and I take things very personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's hard not
or
to.
like even just like yeah, getting anxious about like my family seeing anything,
Mm-hmm.
or like somebody that doesn't agree with my lifestyle choices or
Right.
whatever bullshit. Which really I know logically it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If I say something that upsets somebody and I'm quoting like what they did or said and they're upset by it,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe you shouldn't have said that or did that thing. But
Right. Exactly.
yeah,
That's kind of back to what I was kind of saying earlier about like my dad seeing this. Like if you see it and your feelings are hurt by it, it's because you fucked up. You know what I mean?
that's a
Like,
you problem.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like all I'm saying is I'm just telling a story. I'm just telling people what happened. Like
yeah.
that was a big obstacle I think I had to get over when starting the podcast and being present on social media. It's like, oh fuck, what if like my extended family sees this? The ones that like I see only at
Hmm.
like Christmas time. Like and then I was just like, you
Right.
know what? Then like let them be uncomfortable with that. I'm fine. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm happy with the choices that I've made.
Yeah, exactly. But I get the social media aspect and how hard it is to, as a trans person, to put yourself out there even at an older age when you've been through it all. Like, I don't know, it goes into, I've talked about it a couple times. Wesley Tucker, he the most beautiful fucking man I've ever seen in my life. He has a large following on social media. He sings, he does it all. He's very talented, but he's so stealth. Like, he has never talked about him being trans ever. And the only reason, like, I know he's trans is because
Mhm.
I'm trans, and like I could just see through those things, like, you probably can too. And it's like
Yeah.
the battle of, like, does he have an obligation to be there for other trans people and give advice and tell a
Wow.
story, or does he not? And like, obviously he does not. It's a free world. Like, you can do whatever you want,
Mhm.
but it's hard to not be like, oh, you have a platform, help help us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. Can't be mad.
Yeah. That is hard. I had to look him up because I wasn't sure who it was, and he looks like a little anime boy.
He
He's very
does a
cute.
little bit.
He looks like a trans blonde James Charles almost to
Oh
me.
my god.
with
Wow.
with the eyes with the eyes of Jasper from Twilight.
Wow. You're like not wrong. Dude,
It's
that
a very
man.
interesting taste you have.
Yeah.
No shade. He's very kiki.
Yeah, a little
Have you
bit.
heard that before? The
Kiki?
kiki booba?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. That's my favorite thing.
It's very kiki. That's funny, dude. I think I found him, like, when I was freshly trans, and I was like, this is who I
Mm.
want to be. Him with like Jaden Whale and like Sam Collins and all those fuckers I've already talked about.
Mm.
Did you have anybody like that? You were like, I definitely want to look like this. I want to be like this. I'm trying to get like you.
Um, I'm trying to think of who a good example would be, but I'm coming up blank. Other than this is fucking embarrassing. Zach Galifianakis. So kind of that energy. or
I
or
love
so
it.
for the Kiki, Zach Galifianakis would be a Pedro Pascal. So like
Dude.
somewhere in between those two.
I love it. 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 I love it.
Well, you should watch The Last of Us, an amazing
I,
show,
pl- I
and
played
he's in that.
I played the game. I played the game, but I didn't watch
Okay,
the
good,
show.
good, good.
Um, moving on a little bit to our second topic,
Yes.
just because I know I've kept you a little bit long here, but when we first started talking and texting a little bit, you were telling me about that you've been through a divorce.
Hmm.
Uh, now I got a comment of somebody asking me to talk about how to come out to a partner and how to deal with it if it goes wrong. I wanted to ask if your divorce did that play a part in the divorce?
Um, I'm honestly still processing a lot of it.
Mm,
It was just like finalized like a year ago, like
mm,
recently,
mm,
like within like a few days, like a year ago. And a lot of it has been like learning, like looking back and being like, oh, that's what this was. Oh shit, and
mm,
then kind of having to like reframe
mm,
everything since there. So that it was a lot of that, but the coming out as trans was a big part of it. Eh, yeah, it just the person that I was with, we were just not a good fit to begin with,
mm,
and they were kind of like checked out of the relationship, and then didn't want to come back in until I was like, I'm good, I'm done.
mm.
So it's
Gotcha.
kind of one of those situations where then they had tried to like overcompensate, and it was
Mm,
just not it was not it in a toxic way.
mm,
Um, But yeah,
Isn't love fun?
yeah, shit. Sorry to ramble.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, ultimately, I guess shit. Yeah, coming out as trans was a big thing because I had to have a conversation with them, like, hey, like, this is who I am, and it feels like you miss this other person, like you miss who I was,
Mm.
and they flat out said, yeah,
Oh,
and I said, oh,
ugh.
okay,
That's that's a
so
shitty thing to say to somebody.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
thank you. So yeah, that was kind of like just the nail in the coffin where
Mhm.
I was like, well, shit, that's done.
Yeah. But
So
it's like also like I don't know. Yes, like am a different person than I was before I transitioned. Clearly, hello. But
mhm,
like, I'm also the same person in a sense.
yeah,
Like, I am me. I'm the same person you raised. I'm the same person you fell in love with. I have the same jokes. I talk the same. I have the same mannerisms. Like, I am me. Just say he,
hmm,
him. That's pretty much it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
and it really it ultimately it's masked as a trans thing, but
Mhm.
ultimately it's that, at least personally, I guess I should say, it was that they missed being able to control me and manipulate me and
Mhm.
being able to, have governance over every move that I have,
Right.
financially, socially.
Mhm.
It Yeah, it was just not a good situation, and the more I accepted myself and did inner work and realized, like, I am worthy and I
Mhm.
don't deserve to be treated like this. Like, the more I set boundaries and stuck to them, like, the more resistance I got, the more pushback, the more shittiness happened.
Right.
Um, and so they missed that person that they could just roll over and do whatever they wanted.
Mhm.
And that's what hurts the most, is
Yeah.
you miss the control that you had. You miss the idea of me, not
Right.
who I am as a person.
Yeah, exactly. It has nothing to do with who you were as a person at all.
Yeah,
They
and
missed out on
that's
control.
not love.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That sounds really hard. Do you think did that like stop your transition at all? Like, did you have to take a break from your
No,
transition? Good. Good on you, dude.
no,
Good
not
on
at
you.
all. Yeah, that was like a slap in the face of, I need to get away from this person.
Hell yeah. As you should.
Um, and it had been almost 9 years with them at this point.
Oh
So
God, bro.
yeah,
That's that's wild. That's a lot of time.
yeah, it was a ride. I honestly felt like I was sleepwalking until I turned 29,
Mm, that's a good way to
and
put it.
I just woke up suddenly and, like, was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why am I doing these things? Why am I around these people? I don't even like them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
I've been there, bro. It's and then when you finally walk away and realize your worth and realize how shitty that person was treating you, it's like, oh wow, life is actually enjoyable. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I don't know.
yeah. You mean, it's possible to wake up in the morning and not immediately be filled with a sense of dread?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's possible.
Yeah, right. It is out there. You can find that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That kind of goes into the topic of do you think it's wrong or transphobic for a partner to leave you for coming out as trans? It's a big topic. I
I don't
know.
know. Yeah, no, I love it. I was looking forward to this question the most, honestly. um, I don't know. I think I try to not speak in absolutes because there's context to everything.
Right.
who's to say anything's wrong, really? If you get cheated on, is it wrong? Because then, if you leave that relationship because of this, ultimately they did you a favor and now you can move on to find something better.
What a
It
glass
wasn't
half
wrong.
full. What? Like,
It was
dang.
morally wrong, yes, but
Yeah.
for you, ultimately, it's for the best.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
be with somebody who wants to be with you.
Exactly.
So kind of stuff like that. But I, it's rough because it's also like if you're with somebody that if you're in a relationship with somebody and romantic attraction and sexual attraction is important to you both,
Mm.
and then you transition and you're not sexually attracted to that person, like like
Right.
what can you do? Like,
Yeah, I think that, obviously there's no straight answer. There's no line down the middle with that question. It's more like me personally, I think if we're in a relationship, I come out as trans and you don't want to be with me anymore, it's wrong of you to be like, I miss the person you used to be.
oh yeah,
I will never
yeah,
see you
that's
as
different.
this person. You will always be this person to me. But if it's like, okay, I support you, I'll be your friend, I will love you unconditionally, but I
Mm,
can no longer be your romantic partner. I can no longer have sex with you. That's fair. That's like you're being
mm,
supportive, but you're also putting your needs first, which is fair. You know what I mean?
mm.
But I don't know.
Which yeah,
To straight up leave
yeah, it's
somebody,
yeah,
sus.
yeah, that's questionable.
Yeah.
I would say there's other things going on besides,
Right.
but yeah, I don't know. That just it. I recently heard this quote, or not a quote, but like a saying of, "A fish and a bird can be in love, but where would they live?" Like sometimes people just aren't
Whew.
meant to be together, and that's okay. Like you can still be friends and
Right.
still be amicable.
Right. That's fucking sad, but it's true.
Yeah,
Definitely true.
it just life be like it do.
That's what I'm gonna name the podcast now. life, life is life is just hard.
It's really hard out here. I'm just a little guy.
Life is just really hard. I don't know.
It's my first day. Please.
Actually, I fucking love that joke, bro. Uh, um, now I want to ask how you fucking coped with that, being with somebody for 9 years, coming out as trans, and then having to deal with that all alone. What advice would you give
Um,
people going through that?
I wasn't technically all alone. So at the time, well, I am polyamorous,
Oh,
and at the time, I
slay!
also, yeah, and I was kind of debating on whether or not to like bring that up, but in case there's anybody else that's polyamorous trans going through this, I got you.
I love it.
But yeah, I was also living with another partner
Mm-hmm.
who that was a whole different kind of relationship toxicity on like the opposite end of the spectrum. So lots of shedding happened. But anyways, I coming out to those two was two different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I was with for like 9 years, they were it was kind of just indifferent. Um, I don't know, like not really. It didn't feel supportive. It just kind of felt like fake support, like just you're here, kind
Mm.
of that situation. And then the other one, it was like a twin flame kind of relationship deal. So probably doomed from the start. And that's a perfect fish and bird situation.
Right. Yeah.
Um, just really not healthy for each other.
Mm.
And they were very supportive, and I still love them very much. But it just wasn't right for either of us, and we weren't growing together. So,
Hmm. Wow.
but yeah, as far as like actually like coming out to them, um, God, what did happen? Uh, I like started like kind of questioning things and
Mm.
like kind of talking to them and oh, I did the whole like, oh, I'll try like she they to kind of see how it feels, like, oh, maybe like they them will feel better. And I was like, well, no, that still doesn't
Mhm.
feel right. And then I was like, well, like let me start paying attention to how often I feel like feminine, like how often I feel like good in the feminine, like presenting that way, like how often I feel grateful for having my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, dude. Not a lot. So I just kind of being open and sharing that experience with them,
Wow.
and then for the most part being like, like we'll use whatever pronouns you want, like whatever sounds good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then kind of trying to play around with it and having a lot of like internalized stuff to work through. Like honestly, a lot of like internalized transphobia myself to work through. Um,
I get that. Me too.
but yeah, and then and then I did have like a full on mental breakdown and went to a partial hospitalization program for a couple weeks. Missed like 6 weeks of work.
Oof.
Had a nice little reset. So good therapy, everybody, more or less. But it just, I don't know. It was stupid, and it honestly got to the point of the only way that I can give you a description of it is, have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when Zuko is going through the shit of like fighting the good and evil, and he has his like cold or whatever on the floor with Uncle Iroh, that's what it felt like. Like I felt like I was being like split in half and like just going to die if I didn't either like do this thing
Mm-hmm.
or the other option was
Mm-hmm.
not being around,
Yeah.
honestly. Um, so yeah, it was just kind of like a come to Jesus, I guess, moment.
And yet people
And
think it's a choice.
yeah, yeah. Uh, and so I don't know, like I controlled the things that I can control, and unfortunately, the people that I was with did not react super well. um,
Right.
but amidst all that, I guess I did like had recently started seeing Ray, who I'm with now. Uh, so and she was kind of there to greatly help me and like kind of pointed out like, hey, like like what they're doing right now is toxic. Like
Mm-hmm.
this situation is toxic. Like what this is not good. Like
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't do this. And then she would also point it out for me also like, hey, like you're doing some shit right now that's not cool.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
all it
having
takes
having
sometimes.
somebody like that around. Yeah.
Yeah. All it takes sometimes is just somebody to poke you and be like, hey, something's wrong.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not right. I get that for sure.
Yeah. So
I feel like I don't know. Fortunately never had to really. I came out once to a partner, but it wasn't really me coming out. It was her being like, "Hey, stupid, you're trans," and I was like, "Oh." That was my experience in realizing I was trans, and that's all it was. And then I never really had to come out to any partner ever because they all knew I was trans before they started dating me. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So
Yeah,
like,
I had met.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't even know what I was gonna say. You start.
So sorry. Yeah, when I met Ray, she was actually like one of the first people I met like as Oliver also. So that was cool.
That's
To
awesome.
have her around. So she like when she first met me, she thought I was further along in my transition, and I was like a couple of months into socially transitioning,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow,
so she yeah, but she grew up like in the Washington area and very open minded and had been around like other trans people before, so she was a huge support system.
that's good. That's awesome. That's what we need. That's all we need. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not a lot
Oh,
to ask.
the sun is coming up. Is that
I don't
does
know.
it look
You're.
crazy? Sorry.
It's golden hour.
Yeah, it is.
um, I think the comment I got was, I think they were pretty much asking. It was on through like Instagram, so I don't have it anymore. But it was,
Mm,
um, asking advice on how to come out to a partner who
yeah.
like you've been with for a while. And do you have any advice on that? 'Cause I don't know if I do.
So I want to get philosophical and ask, like, why do you feel like you can't already like talk to them about this?
There you go. Yeah, that's
You
true.
know,
That's true.
um, I guess if you're with somebody that you're already like having an open dialogue with, like, but also like if it's something that you're like just kind of like starting to think about and nervous about, like I get that too. But I don't know, you could get a text,
Hmm.
write it down somewhere,
That's
just
what
be
I
like,
was gonna
hey,
say. That's what I was. Yeah, I feel
yeah,
like writing it is definitely easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's where most people get hung up, is the actual, like, the part of, like, actually having to
Yeah.
say it. I think, God, when I
Yeah.
came out to my mom and my dad, I was like,
Yeah.
so I get
Say
that.
it. Say it. Vampire. Yes, I'm trans.
It's like the fucking, it was like a bad word to say to it, or it felt like a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
So I get
Yeah.
that part. Definitely write it
Yeah.
out if you need to. And honestly, I don't know if this might just be my own personal opinion, might be a little controversial, but like, if you're with someone who you think is not going to take it well, should you be with them? Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
even have to question that kind of thing, I don't know.
Yeah. But conversely, I guess I'm so sorry to do this to you, but there's a like a Hawaiian practice of ho'oponopono, and it's like the act of like radical forgiveness, and ultimately it's like teaching you that you control your reality, and what expectations you have on people is kind of what will present itself. Um, so like if you're expecting something to happen, it's probably going to happen because you're already looking for it, kind of thing.
Whoa.
So
You're so wise, bro.
that's no. I just listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't know. I think it's really interesting how humans move throughout the world,
Yeah.
um,
Does that
in general.
does that fall into like manifestation? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Bitch, I love to
Yeah,
manifest. It's my thing.
yeah, we do. Yeah, but part of like the practice is saying like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Like it's part of like a mantra.
Mm.
And it's saying like, I'm sorry that. Hold on, I have to read. I took a screenshot of this because I knew I was probably going to say something about
That's awesome.
it.
I love that.
um, but it's trying to teach you to like take responsibility for the things in your life.
Mm.
But yeah, when you say I'm sorry, you're recognizing and accepting responsibility for the actions, thoughts, and emotions that have caused a conflict to manifest. The words "please forgive me" are said as a request to make amends with your higher self and the universe. Thank you is the opportunity to show gratitude that you've had this opportunity to like learn a lesson or grow from. And
Mhm.
then I love you is just like, everybody needs love. Everybody's deserving of love.
Oh, I love it.
And yeah.
You're
And
a
it's good for it's good for other people, but I think it's more important to do that with yourself.
mm, facts. You're a very glass half full type of man. I'm digging it. I love
I
it.
spent I spent a good 29 years being the glass is completely empty, so
Ain't no
you got to
water in
start
this
somewhere.
glass.
There was no water in this bitch to be found. It was the Mojave. No way.
No, yeah, I feel you on that. It reminds me of my sister. My sister always makes me look at the sun and say thank you, universe, all the time and shit like that.
it's it's so stupid and annoying and it's cringy. I get it. Saying the mantras is stupid,
No, but like,
and
it works. It
it works.
works. It
It's so
does.
fucking dumb. I hate it. I hate it. I
Honestly,
hate
bro.
that I can just go outside and be good. You're telling me that I can just take these pills
Mhm.
and walk outside in nature a little bit and be fine? Ugh,
You're telling me I can help myself? Oh.
what the fuck?
For fucking real, bro. That's good advice. That's advice I haven't heard yet on this podcast. Is a manifestation type thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I
And
think
not the boss babe stuff too. Like just love yourself.
yeah, just love yourself. And like, everyone's like, it's very hard to love yourself. You know, it's a lot harder than it sounds, and which it is. I agree with that. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it is as simple as it sounds sometimes, if that makes sense. If you just say it, just look in the mirror and just say it, it'll happen. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, it is really hard, especially if you've been like taught not to value yourself or like shown what self love is,
Mm-hmm.
or even like what compassion is for other people. Like how can you be expected to learn that? So, if that's where you're at, like be hard on yourself. Like we
Right.
all have to learn sometime.
Right. Very.
But yeah, yeah. Your first thought isn't your fault, but your second thought is.
Ooh. Ooh. You're the
I
wisest man I've had on this podcast so far. I love it.
have such a sick collection of little sayings.
Do you write them down in your phone so you could read them from time to time?
I do, and then sometimes my girlfriend and I are really gay and write post-it note, like little notes to each other all over our closet.
Yeah.
I love that woman.
I love that. That's awesome. That sounds like it's key to a healthy relationship. I love it.
You try.
Hell yeah. I think also to go back to the, dealing with a
Yeah,
partner, because I have a thing here, what to do if your partner is pushing you back in the closet. Like
run.
stop it. Yeah, exactly. Like stopping your transition. Like literally run. Just because it's not worth it. Like life is so short to not be who you are. And in my humble opinion, being who you are and being true to yourself is so much more important than like love and relationships. Like love yourself first and then comes the other person. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to spend the most time with you, and at the end of the day, you're the only one that has your back,
Right.
regardless of how much you love other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You gotta
yeah,
you gotta be your own best friend.
yeah, it's just really hard sometimes.
True. It is. It took me a
But
long time to be
yeah,
my own best friend, and I think it's just a now
hmm,
recent thing. Like probably the start of this podcast is when I started being my own best friend. Like it's a hard thing to do to not depend on anybody else, and that even goes for like
hmm,
depending on other people to ease my dysphoria or make my dysphoria better. Like I think it took me a long time to realize that I am in charge of my own dysphoria. I can't depend on my partner or anybody else to make that better for me
hmm.
because then they leave and it would be like my world would be crashing down because then I got to deal with it
And
myself.
it just further like solidifies what you're already thinking,
Right.
and says, "Oh, here's another case that adds on to of why I think this."
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Right. Exactly. And that's why I say reach out to trans people because I didn't do that. And I think I let people like in my relationships and stuff be in charge of my own mental health. And like when you can talk to somebody who's been through it, you're not so much relying on them, but just looking for how to get through it where like cis people can't do that for you. They, as I said before, they can give you
mm-hmm,
sympathy or empathy, but that's about it. And while that's nice, you need the relatability. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to like be able to talk to somebody who you know that they get it, like they fucking get it, they understand how exhausting it is to move through every single day with pointless things being gendered for no fucking reason other than to sell money
Mm-hmm.
and to reinforce the patriarchy. And it's
Mm-hmm.
so stupid, it's
Mm-hmm.
so stupid.
Dude, and I can't. It's not even like a plug for my Discord anymore. Like I can't tell you how nice it is to just be in a big group chat with people who aren't there to like for their own benefit. All they want is just
Mhm,
people that are like them. And like we're not sitting in there like always talking about, trans things. It is just people who are like me and like you and just good people just hanging out. And I'm telling you, it's only been
mhm.
a couple days, but my mental health is soaring because of it.
That's good, good.
I love it. I love meeting all the trans people through this podcast.
Yes,
I love it.
yes, representation matters.
It do. We're hitting in the hour and 45 mark, so we can start to call it there. And I've been dropping the ball. I said I was gonna do like a trans song a week, and then I skipped it for like 2 weeks. So sorry, everybody. Not that anybody fucking cares, but I care. So, uh,
I care.
so I wrote here on the Google Doc a song that I wanted, and then you looked at the Google Doc and you were like, "That song is fucking sad." I got, I got one for you, and I said, "Okay, bet."
Listen, listen. No shade to Mr. I don't even know how to say his name, Ravel.
Yeah,
But
Rabble.
goddamn, wow, yeah, It's deep.
Yeah, it's a sad song. It's the one. I think the song is actually called Rabble by The Village. It's the one where it's like,
Oh,
don't you
yeah,
even
that one.
go there, cutting off your long hair. It was a
Yeah.
TikTok song. It was very popular. It's sad as fuck, but if you're like me and sad songs make you feel comforted, you might want to check that out if you haven't heard it. Um, I really like the line that says, "There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with the village. So it's not you. It's not yourself. There's nothing wrong with you, but it's the people that are around you who are treating you like shit." That's what I like about it. But he has a point. It's very fucking sad. So if you're not that type of person,
Not to yuck your yum, man. I'm sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. You
I,
you could go with Oliver's suggestion, which was, what was it called? "Rageless Hope" by 99 Neighbors.
yep. Hmm.
It was a good song. I listened to it. Um, there's a vocalist on there who is a trans woman, right?
Hmm.
Nice. It was a good song.
Nadia, I believe is her name.
Right. Yeah. You'd
Yeah,
find her on
and
Instagram.
their whole album of that is phenomenal, and was what I listened to get me through when I was transitioning at the first few months. So I have a soft spot for 99 Neighbors, and I'm very upset because they just announced they're splitting up. So.
No. Oh.
Pour one out for the homies.
For real.
But they're all doing like solo stuff now, so that's cool.
That is cool. You wrote a lyric here. I just noticed that. Read that lyric to me in the Google Doc.
Real change, it always sounds so quiet. You would never hear a seed push through the ground.
Ooh. I like that. Is that your favorite part of that song?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, it cuts deep.
I like it. Oh my god. It's gonna become my new favorite song now. Watch. Oliver, where can people follow you on social media?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat as Oliver Went West, all one word.
I love that
everything.
fucking username. I love it. Oliver, I said to you before, Oliver's got to come east. I want Oliver here. I love Oliver.
Yes, I would love to visit. It'd be awesome.
Hell yeah. Now you can follow me at HRT Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. I post there every single day of clips that you see here. You can also follow me on Patreon at HRT, and make sure you subscribe to me here because I see a lot of people are viewing it but not subscribing. So just subscribe. It's one button. You can do it. I believe in you. Also, as I said, please, 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 you should really join my Discord. It just launched 2 days ago. The description will be in the link below. Click that shit. It'll be worth it. I promise. And as I said, subscribe to my Patreon. I post there. I'm starting to use my Patreon as like a Twitter-esque moment. I just post like daily things on there now. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to have you there. You'll get, updates faster than anybody else. So you should definitely do that along with Discord. And that is about it. I drop videos here every Tuesday. And yeah, that's about it. Oliver, thank you so much for coming on today. You were great.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I will see you guys next week. Bye.